match it.
Yeah. It's an interesting idea. I don't know that anybody's looking at that, but you better believe I'm taking that back to the team.
Welcome back to another episode on the Genealogy TV podcast, where we dig into family stories, family history, strategies to help you discover your family history. I'm Connie Knox.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley Moore, joining Miss Connie here today. We are going to explore research techniques and hopefully share some fun stories along the way.
Hey, today we were sitting around recording podcasts and we started talking about this other feature on Ancestry. And so we decided to just go ahead and record this because people might want to know about it. And what we're talking about is some of the photo recognition and kind of facial recognition between photographs. So Ashley, how did we start talking about this? I guess you saw something on Crista Cowan's show or something?
Yeah, so I, of course, love to listen to Crista and some of the advice that she gives. It was really interesting that she had a guest on recently where they discussed networks and also this particular type of technology. And I really was curious about learning more about it. So, figured come to Connie and pick your brain.
Yeah, so, this was actually an idea that I came up with a couple of years ago. I was talking to Crista at RootsTech 2 years ago, and I said, hey, wouldn't it be cool? You know how we all have these unidentified photographs in our family, some shoebox in the closet or something, right, where these photographs have been handed down, and yet we don't know who these people are because they weren't noted on the back or anything. And I said, these were taken a lot of times in a photo studio, and there were multiple copies made. I'm sure they were handed out to various people in the family. What if I have an unidentified photograph, but let's pretend, Ashley, you're my cousin, a distant cousin even, and you've inherited the same photograph, but on the back of your photograph, it's labeled. And so I said, wouldn't it be cool? Because we've got this reverse lookup on Google now. You can do this with, I think it's called images.google.com or something like that, where you can upload a photograph and see if the World Wide Web has it anywhere in the world. The technology already existed. So I said to Crista, wouldn't it be cool if I could take that photograph and upload it to Ancestry? And if somebody else in your database has already uploaded that and identified that person, wouldn't it be cool if we could match those two photographs? I'm envisioning a reverse lookup for an image. So if somebody already has the image in the Ancestry platform somewhere, and I upload it, it would be great because I don't know who this Danish ancestor of mine is. I want to identify this guy. What if, these people took these pictures in portrait studios, so that same photograph probably got handed down to several people. Mm-hmm. What if somebody has already uploaded that with identification, and then I could upload it and say, match it?
Yeah. It's an interesting idea. I don't know that anybody's looking at that, but you better believe I'm taking that back to the team.
Wouldn't it be cool if I could take that photograph and upload it to Ancestry? And if somebody else in your database has already uploaded that and identified that person, wouldn't it be cool if we could match those two photographs? Mm-hmm. And she goes, oh, great idea. I'll take that back to the team. Well, all of a sudden, this is not exactly the same thing that I was talking about, but it's very, very close. So they have come up with photo recognition. Mm-hmm. And so as soon as I heard about it many months ago, I started uploading unknown photographs. And I'm going to show you as soon as I get them loaded here. I'm going to share my screen. And for those who are listening, I'm going to try and describe the best I can what I'm seeing. So bear with me 1 second while I share my screen. Here is my gallery on Ancestry. And by the way, if you're not sure how to get to the full gallery, you go to Memories and then you drop down to Gallery. It's right now the first option you can go to. You can also upload and digitize photographs from here or on your cell phone. But so what I've done is I have uploaded a bunch of unknown photographs. Look, who is that person right there with the smiling face? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, let's pretend it's a picture of me for those who are listening. So here, I've got this picture of this unknown guy. I'm going to pick this one here. This guy's got a mustache and he's in one of those oval cardboard frames. And the cool part about it is if you hover your mouse over his frame, it says, who is this? Well, this is a photograph that I labeled unknown man with mustache in Denver, Colorado, because the cardboard picture, the cardboard says Denver, Colorado. Now, I might be able to get lucky and find the photographer. Kind of doubt it, but maybe. But when I hover over this image, I can say, who is this? And I could actually label him. Or I could give him a tag by tagging him, but I don't want to tag him. What I want to do is I want to see if I can recognize him. So when I clicked on that, the box moved into the wrong place. So I'm going to move it back over his face. And when I do that, it says recognize ancestors. So I could click on that and it's going to search the database for other pictures, trying to use facial recognition as well to see if there are any matches of this guy. In this case, I'm striking out. Now, one of the things you need to do is also remember, if you know anything about this photograph, put it in there. Like, this box of unknown people came from my Madsen grandmother. So likely it's either a Johnson, a Madsen, a Schroeder, one of those surnames that I have in that family line. So I'm going to go back to the Memories tab, back to my gallery, and I'm going to pick a different one just to see. But this is a feature that I don't think a lot of people really realize is here. So I'm scrolling down, I'm trying to find another. Here's an unknown woman. I've labeled it unknown woman portrait, and I'm going to hover my mouse over her face again. It says, who is this? I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to hit I can recognize from here. Click on the recognize, and it's going to go see if it can find other women that look similar. And I don't know that it's necessarily, I would be very cautious in that. Don't assume that it's automatically finding them, because I can tell you that some of these people are not the same person. Just by looking at them, you can kind of tell. But boy, there's some very good similarities. And if you see one that has a surname from the same side of the family, you might want to investigate those trees to see if it could be the same person. And one of the things I notice when I'm doing this is the hairstyles or the clothing. It's matching a lot of the same hairstyles. Well, of course, in the era in which these pictures were taken, probably the late 1800s, early 1900s, that the hat style, the hairstyle is going to be the same. And what they're doing is they're labeling them good or fair, kind of matches. If I go to the little gallery icon in the upper left corner, right under the Ancestry logo, I can get back to I thought I could get back to the gallery. It didn't take me to the gallery. Yes, it did. It just took a minute to load. So I can sit there and play with all of these unknown photographs just to see if there are any matches for these people. And I'm doing another one right now. I have labeled unknown man in Butte, Montana. And I can also just hit the recognize tag on the left-hand side and move that box around and see if we can recognize this guy. And I think in some cases, my photograph is so big that I wonder if I can stretch that box. Oh, I can. I can stretch the box.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that. So yeah, there's a little handle on the lower right side in which you can stretch the box and make it bigger and change it a little bit. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see if by chance you can identify some of these people. So now what I just did was I used the left hand. I'm in the gallery, so I can use the left and right buttons to sit there and change photographs, so I don't have to keep going all the way back to the top gallery. But I think this is kind of cool, especially if there's any chance that there is another person. I already did her. I'm going to go back and find another one. If there's any chance that there is another person with the same photograph that has uploaded it and perhaps identified that person. And so I uploaded probably, 8 photographs. I haven't been able to find a match yet, but that doesn't mean that others won't. I know, I think I heard Crista talking about how she was able to match somebody using this technology. But there's one here that's labeled a great match. However, I disagree. But, anyway, so we just kind of wanted to record a thing. If you do find somebody and you're able to identify them, boy, that's one less unidentified photograph out there, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got on the facial recognition part. You can always try and go to Google and do kind of a World Wide Web search, I think it's images. You go to images.google.com and then you can upload an image and it will search for similar images. You may or may not find the same image out there. If somebody has uploaded it to one of their websites or something, or, but here's what it's not going to do. It's not going to go into anything that you have to log into. For example, Find a Grave. So if somebody's uploaded that same photograph to Find a Grave and you have done that Google reverse lookup search, then it's not going to find that same image on Find a Grave because it doesn't have a login. Google doesn't have a login to Find a Grave.
Gotcha. Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got.
Sounds good. It was just a new feature, or at least new to me, and I thought it was something worth exploring.
Yeah, and I hadn't done a video on it, so there you go. Now you have a video on it.
Sounds good. That's awesome.
All right, we'll catch you next time.
Thanks.